Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today, I'm gonna be giving you part 11 of What If Naruto was given a second chance. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also, go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto Learned the Clone Secret in the beginning and enjoy that guys. And later on I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto was raised by the Hyuga clan, so stay tuned for that and I hope you guys enjoy. And I'm also going to be posting What If Naruto got his memories sealed away, so stay tuned for that as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah. So without further ado, what is we begin this new episode. Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, Naruto started to flirt with Yujito, as the exam hadn't begun yet, as he tripped on purpose. Well, there was nothing there for him to trip. To be friendly, she was going to caught him, but he ended up grabbing her as he spun her around, as he landed on his back and she landed on top of him. As he started to talk, the way he was talking, she did not even realize where she was until he pointed it out, as she jumped up off of him. As Naruto did not pay Temari any mind, as she was frustrated a bit but she wondered why did she care. As Naruto went back over to see Kabuto, as he was giving off information to Sasuke about Gaara. As Naruto asked, what about the Sound Village? Knowing that they were pretty weak, they only sent one team here. Hearing that, Dosu, Zaku and Kin decided to attack. But the two boys were surprised when Naruto ferociously smashed them into the wall, asking them if they were retards, attacking him in his own village, as he spun Kin around and helped her up. She was just taken aback, as she saw her teammates were about to attack him from behind. As, should she warn him? No, why would she? She's a Sound Ninja after all. But before anything could escalate, a burst of power exploded from Naruto, pure chakra, as that stopped the both of them in their tracks, as he told them one wrong move and they would die. The both of them were surprised as the entire room was now focused on Naruto. Ibiki then arrived as he spotted Naruto, as he glared at him. Anko had invited Naruto to one of their poker nights, and Naruto cleaned Ibiki out and Ibiki was now pissed off. As the exam began and Naruto got a seat right beside Temari, as she tried to not look at him or say anything to him, but he told her he did it on purpose to see if she was going to be jealous, as he was happy that she was jealous, as she cursed and told him that she was not jealous and why would she be, as he kept on teasing her the entire time, as he ended up switching his paper with one of the chonins in front of him so he didn't have to do anything. As the test finally came to an end, as Ibiki informed them about the real reason of the test. As Anko came in the room, as she rushed towards Naruto seeing him, as she grabbed him and started to smuggle his head right into her breast, making many of the guys in class, especially Kiba, pissed off, as they all headed towards the Forest of Death. Arriving there, Anko explained, as the gates were open as they all threaded inside. Naruto apologized to Sasuke earlier, but Sasuke was confused, as he didn't know why Naruto was apologizing. What did he do? Going inside, Naruto could feel it, as Naruto sent out a clone to Anko. Anko was shocked to hear that, but Yuji was there as well, as she told Naruto that he must run away from there. If Orochimaru is after Sasuke, that means Naruto is gonna get up in the crossfire. As he poofed away, she jumped over the fence going into the Forest of Death, as Anko tagged along and tell the rest of them to go and get the Hokage and tell him about what is going on. As Hiruzen couldn't believe it, Orochimaru was here, as he sent out his envoys. The Grass Ninja then arrived, as suddenly Naruto knocked out Sasuke, as the Grass Ninja watches Naruto seal him into a prisoner transportation scroll, as he gave to Sakura and told her to run. This guy's too dangerous, and Sasuke will die if she don't. As he told her that everything would be fine, she didn't know why, but she felt warmth behind those words, As she headed off, Orochimaru was going to allow Sasuke to get away, but he was in the shock of his life when a bone-crushing kick connected with his back that snapped his spine. He had to regurgitate himself out of his own mouth, so he could even move. As he looked up to see Naruto standing there, he could feel the boy using the Kyuubi's power. As Naruto told him that he won't let him get to them, he will have to go through him first. Orochimaru smiled. He will have to do this quickly, because he can't let Sasuke get too far. As Naruto pulled his two blades. So yeah guys, that was basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's start this new episode. Naruto stabbed one of his blades in the ground. He went through one hand-in-hand signs as he placed a hand on his forearm. There was a poof as Orochimaru watched as a white, plain mask emerged. As he put it on his face. As he then picked up his blade, Orochimaru stood there curiously. What? No more sarcasm? Have you finally realized that this is pointless? Thinking that you can take on a Sannin, Orochimaru asked. Orochimaru then stopped as he narrowed his eyes. The air around him felt so saturated with power. What is this feeling, he said, as he looked around. He took his eyes off Naruto for a second. That was the wrong thing to do. As he looked back to the previous position, Naruto was gone. It was just because he was a Sannin and has a ton of experience, so he was able to dodge. As he slid under Naruto's blade, but some of his hair got sliced off. But Naruto didn't stop there as he planted his foot in Orochimaru's face. Orochimaru tried to twist his face around, but it was too late as Naruto's other foot came and smashed into the side of Orochimaru's head. This was a shock of a lifetime when Orochimaru felt the force connect with his head. His body was sent sailing as he smashed through several tree branches and smashed into the ground. Orochimaru picked up himself. For a moment he could only hear ringing. As he wondered what the hell just happened, he could hear his ears ringing. This kid was no ordinary. Orochimaru twisted around as Naruto flashed behind him ready to decapitate him as he ducked. He lashed out with a kick, but Naruto crossed his blades as he kicked Naruto blades. But all of the force of his kick just drained away. As he was surprised as Naruto pushed him back with pure strength. Naruto threw his blades up in the air as he went through hand sign. Wind style, divine fist of the wind god. As he thrust out his fist as two shaped fists made from pure wind came burling down on Orochimaru. Orochimaru leaped up in the air, hitting the shadow snakes, he said, as snakes emerged from his sleeve. Naruto blades dropped as he spinned them around. The snakes were sliced up into little pieces. As Naruto thrust one of his blades towards Orochimaru like a spear, Orochimaru opened his mouth wide as a snake emerged. The snake didn't open its mouth as the Kusanagi blade emerged and clashed with Naruto's blade. Orochimaru then looked down. The kid was gone. As he then sensed it, as he twisted his side, but Naruto twisted his side, but Naruto blade grazed him and tear through flesh as blood started to run down. Snakes then burst from Orochimaru's sleeve as they wrapped around Naruto tight. It was then that something happened. Naruto blades dropped. As he released the one that he had in his hand and the other one dropped. Before he smirked, Orochimaru barely had time to substitute as Naruto exploded, destroying the lock that Orochimaru substituted himself with. As Orochimaru reappeared, I must say, he said out loud, you are no ordinary genin. I find it impossible for you to be taking these Chunin exams. To be able to perform this way, I'm intrigued. Not only fast, but strong. And this power, Orochimaru said. He felt the air being saturated with power that the kid was drawing upon, the air itself. It was then Orochimaru felt the ground rumbling. As three clones, poof. As Orochimaru realized, so he used the rocks, disguised the clones. The clones slashed out at Orochimaru, but Orochimaru blocked their strike, extending a snake from his mouth as well. To block the third one, he then spin around as he sliced through them. You're strong, but if you think tactics like that and a clone can defeat me, you're stupider than I thought, said Orochimaru. And I hate giving praise to people who I then find out later on are stupid. Orochimaru tilted his head as a kunai passed him. You know that won't work. What's your game here, he asked. As he then tilted his body again as three more kunais passed him. Orochimaru simply sighed. He was looking around but the kid was moving every time, so he wasn't able to track him completely. The kid was fast. He could see that this kid was above the Uchiha, from what he has been told by Kabuto and the records. Naruto finally came to a stop. Kurama, you ready? Yeah, go for it. As Naruto felt the fluctuation of the chakra infused with his body, as his eyes changed from the normal sage mode to a cross. It was then that Orochimaru noticed something off about the kunais. They surrounded him in a box formation. His body was then pulled to the ground violently by a force, making Orochimaru's eyes went wide before he could even think or wonder what just happened. A feet planted in his face, smashing several of his tooth out, as blood and his teeth fly. Before his body could hit a tree, Naruto came from the sky as he kneed Orochimaru down in the stomach. Orochimaru winced out in pain, coughing out blood and spit at the same time, as Naruto reared back his sword and brought it down. But Orochimaru opened his mouth wide as several snakes burst out of it as they launched at Naruto with their fangs dripping with venom to bite into him. Naruto used his other blade and sliced them down, but Orochimaru used that momentum as he kicked Naruto in the stomach, knocking him off him. Orochimaru then went through several hand signs. Wind style. Deterrent of wind, he said, as a massive gust smashed right into Naruto that sent sailing back. But to Orochimaru's surprise, the boy flipped in the air and landed on a tree and pushed off with force, breaking the tree behind him. He came in as Orochimaru regurgitated his Kusanagi blade as Naruto blades clashed against it. Orochimaru was even more caught off guard when Naruto started pushing back with his strength. As Naruto then released the grip on his blades, slightly, Orochimaru getting the advantage. As Naruto then tilted his body down, Orochimaru was already pushing with the momentum. As Naruto drive one of his blades into Orochimaru's leg, stabbing it deep down into the ground. Orochimaru winced in pain as Naruto used that momentum and knocked a kick under his chin. Yet again, Orochimaru felt like he was hit by a large boulder or he was smashed into something hard. How could one kid fist be so strong? As Naruto then reared back his face and smashed in Orochimaru's face again, blood and spit started to fly. He then jumped up and kicked Orochimaru's side with so much force Orochimaru's leg was ripped out as the blade stood firm. Orochimaru looked down at his leg that was severely damaged. Time to end you, slimy bastard, said Naruto, as he held up his hand in the air. Orochimaru watched in curiosity and shock as a small blue orb started to form. Orochimaru then looked around as he sensed them. Envus. They were coming. As Naruto sensed it as well. As Naruto frowned, he then cancelled his jutsu. It seems like we will have to meet another time, Naruto. I must say, I'm quite intrigued to fight you again. For someone your age to be this strong, I must say you're going to be a problem in the future. So next time I see you, I will have to kill you, Orochimaru said. And with that, his entire body melted into mud. As Naruto calmed himself, as his sage mode along with the fox chakra receded, he could no longer feel Orochimaru as he sheathed his blades. What happened there, kid? Why were you holding back? If I had used some of my more destructive jutsu around here, I'm afraid people in the long distance will feel the backlash. And I can't afford to be questioned right now, at the amount of power I will be pumping out. And Orochimaru was also holding back as well. He wasn't fighting to his best. Yeah, I could tell that. He doesn't want to be discovered soon. But you already know what he's planning. Yeah. And I'll make sure it never happens, said Naruto. As he then turned, he looked at his hand as he started to hum a light blue. Meanwhile with Sakura, she saw the scroll that Sasuke was in start to hum a light blue as well. As Naruto went off, a distance away Orochimaru came to a stop. As he was in a hollowed out tree, he started to cough up blood. Orochimaru was shocked. The kid's punches damaged him so badly, as he never expected something like that to happen. He was just one kid. What exactly was he? And how was he able to damage him so badly? Before he could think more on that though, there was a kunai thrust into the tree with an explosive tag on it. As the thing exploded, as Anko landed along with Yujiro. That's not enough to kill him, said Yujeo. I know, said Uncle. Then why waste your time, Orochimaru said as he slithered out of the ground. Ah, Uncle, it's been a long time. How have you been doing since I left you here? Have you been having fun? Don't talk to me like we're friends, you snake freak, said Uncle. My, that's hurtful. You know I was once your former sensei. Shouldn't you show me some more respect? Any respect I had for you died a long time ago. And you will be dead along with it soon. It seems like you're overestimating yourself again, Uncle. Orochimaru was pissed on the inside because he failed. He did not get to place his mark on the Uchiha boy, but there is still time. But that brat, that Kyuubi brat. But you know, Uncle, I must say, this village, it has trained some great shinobi. After all, I was one of them to train you to become what you are right now. And I also met another one in here, Naruto Uzumaki. What? Said Yujeo. What did you do to him? As Orochimaru looked at her. So you know of him? I swear to God, if you lay a finger on him, I'll kill you, she said. Now this is quite interesting. You're an Anvu. Losing your composure for someone like this. Aren't you supposed to be trained to keep yourself calm even in tough situations? He must be special to you. And that means you're special to him as well. Orochimaru then got a smirk on his face. For ruining my plans in the first part. I guess I'll pay the kid back. Uncle narrowed her eyes as Orochimaru moved off with incredible speed. Yujeo, Uncle said. Meanwhile, Naruto finally arrived, as Sakura was a few feet up ahead. So what do you think he's doing now? Asked Kurama. By now I think he's far out of the forest, said Naruto. So it's a waste of time for me to use my Sage Mode to track him down. But he's gonna want to strike again. And judging this time he didn't get Sasuke at first. So he's gonna come in hard next time. And probably bring some of his best lackeys with him. Probably even Kimimaro. At the finals of the Chunin exams. But I'll be ready for him. Everything is going towards as I planned. This time, he will not be taking anything. And I'll be sure to end him. That man was the main reason why I went through so much crap. If he didn't place that mark on Sasuke, Sasuke would have still been angry. But I still blame him. I think that Sasuke would have never went down that path. That is when everything changed. But it doesn't matter. This is my second chance after all. And I won't allow things to go out the same way. As Naruto arrived, Sakura was in a hollow tree over there. The moment he stepped forward, he had to jump away as a pit opened up, nearly swallowing him. As a log came down on him as he rolled out of the way, as several kunais were tossed out of the tree. It's me, Naruto said as he blocked all the kunais. As Sakura peeped her head out. Naruto, she said. Thank God. Are you okay? She asked. Are you worried about my well-being or you just want me to get Sasuke out of the scroll? Of course I'm worried about you, she said. You stay behind to fight whoever that was. Despite everything, I know that you're kind of strong. And you're always so confident in the way you talk, so for you to be saying that person must have been strong. So yeah, are you okay? She said. And I already told you I'm fine, he said. So you don't have to worry about anything. I guess the battle ran a bit quicker than I thought. So I'll free Sasuke, he said as he went through hand sign, before placing his hand on the scroll. As the entire thing lighted up, before there was a poof. As Sasuke's body was now on the ground, he was still unconscious. When is he gonna wake up? Asked Sakura. Oh, do you really want him to? Naruto asked. Of course I do, she said. No, I don't mean that. You know, I can just step out of this cave. I mean, Sasuke's right there. He's unconscious. You can finally have your way with him, and he wouldn't even know. I mean, I could just... As Naruto started to walk off, as he stopped at the entrance. My God, he said. You were really planning to take advantage of him, as she didn't even stop Naruto. No, I wasn't, she said. Such a pervert for a young girl. Well, as she blushed red and looked away. I wasn't going to do anything. I was just wondering when he was going to wake up. And yet still you didn't stop me. As Naruto walked over, he then quickly lifted up Sasuke's shirt, before smacking Sasuke across the face. Sasuke groaned before jumping up. As Sasuke looked around, the first thing he saw was his shirt up. What the hell happened, he said. I can't believe what I just saw, said Naruto. I came in here to see you unconscious, and Sakura in the process of raping you. No, nothing like that happened, she shouted. I mean, I can't believe it, Sasuke. I knew that she loved you, but rape you? As Sasuke looked over at Sakura, with an unbelievable look on his face. He's lying. He was the one that lifted up your shirt. Come on, Sasuke, who are you gonna believe? The girl that is obsessed with you and keep on stalking you, or the guy that doesn't really care that much? As Sasuke looked at Sakura, he's lying, she said. Don't believe him. He's lying, Sasuke-kun. He did it on purpose. Just make fun of me, she said. As Naruto started to chuckle. That stupid look on your face. You don't even know to react, he said to Sasuke. Yeah, Sasuke didn't know to react. Sasuke then grunted a bit. Hey, what the hell did you do to me? I was just standing there and next moment I know I'm here. Oh, I had to knock you out, said Naruto. What? Why? Oh, that person back there, that was Orochimaru. Orochimaru? You mean one of the Sanins? Yeah. And he kind of wanted your eyes. My eyes? Yeah, your Sharingan. And at the state you are, Sasuke, compared to him you'll be a fly. He would have just taken advantage of you. And I kind of saved you, you know? How so, Sasuke grunted. Oh, the rumors are, he take little boys back to his lab. And then, when they're out, because he drugged them with sleeping pill or something like that, he's gonna do much more than what Sakura tried to do to you. I mean, full on. Bend you over a table, things like that. What? Sasuke said. You're just lucky I saved you in time. He was really gonna do that? Asked Sakura. Well, I told you that Sasuke was lucky. As Sasuke was wondering if Naruto was telling the truth, but he saw Naruto was completely serious. As Sasuke couldn't believe it. Did Naruto really save him from getting raped? You can thank me anytime now, said Naruto. As Sasuke just grunted. As Naruto shook his head. Well, how about we get out of here? We don't have the scroll yet, said Sakura. Oh, don't worry. I was being tailed coming back here. So, in about, well, 3, 2, 1. 3 landing sounds could be heard from outside. As the group stepped out of the hollow tree. Ah, so all of you are up and standing. I'm surprised. As Zaku stepped forward. Now, blonde brat. You're all out here with us. Nothing keeping us from killing your ass. What? Guy, I don't swing that way, said Naruto. I mean if you do it's cool, but don't say that. What? I didn't mean that way, said Zaku. You kinda sound like you did, said Naruto. I wasn't talking about that, Zaku said. Well, what were you talking about? I mean, you have a beautiful girl there on your team, but you want to kill a guy's ass? I mean, come on, man, said Naruto, shaking his head. Zaku grunted as he raised his hands. 2 bursts of wind burst towards Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke as the 3 of them jumped away. Those who then looked around as he saw the girl and the Uchiha. But where's the other one? It was then that he turned. Zaku, where's Kin? I don't know, he said. Kin blinked a few times as his hand was removed from her mouth. As she looked up, he grabbed her. And he moved so fast she didn't even know how to get out of it. Are you gonna kill me? She asked. She saw it before. This guy was powerful, and there was no way she could stop him. Oh, come on. Don't take me for a monster, said Naruto. As he then sat down, Kin was utterly surprised when he pulled her towards him, as she was forced to sit right on his lap. She wanted to move, but he wrapped his arms around her waist, shocking her even more. What are you doing? She said to him, as she was just surprised, unable to move. Was this some kind of strategy to kill her or something? No, if he wanted to do that, he could have done it already. It's been a long day, he said. I figure holding a beautiful girl in my arm and resting. That would be the nicest way to rest. And my god, you're beautiful, he said. So how about it? Kin was stuttering, unable to speak. What about our teams? Don't worry, Sasuke is gonna defeat them. But don't worry, he's not gonna kill them. Sakura is there. He won't do something so gruesome in front of her. And by the way, he's not affected. Kin narrowed her eyes. Affected? Yeah. You see, Orochimaru sent you guys here to get killed. What are you talking about? And how? She shut her mouth. How the hell does he know about Orochimaru? Don't worry. I know that you're working for Orochimaru, but I'm not gonna kill you as I said. I can see that on this team you are a force. And if it comes down to it, Orochimaru would use you as his pawns anytime. Because as you can see, he planned to place a curse seal on Sasuke. But why would he do that and send you guys here? Sasuke would have killed all the three of you. As Kin was silent, unsure what to think. But yet she had a small blush on her face, sitting down in his lap. This was quite weird. Why was he acting so formal with her? If she was working with Orochimaru after all, seeing that he was a missing link from their village. As she didn't say anything for a long while, as the both of them just sit there in silence. Until there was an explosion out in the clearing. Can I ask you a question? He asks. As she was still unsure about the situation. What is it? She said. Your technique. When you use those bells with that genjutsu. It's quite similar to Teiwaya playing her flute. Kin narrowed her eyes. How do you know about my cousin? And how do you know about my technique? She asks. As Naruto released a hole around her waist. It seems like things are just wrapping up now, he says. He got up, lifting her up a bit, as he placed her back on her feet. Ah, that was nice, he said. Wait, she said. Answer my question. How do you know about my cousin? And my technique? Let's just say I'm smart that way, he said to her. And remember what I said. If it comes down to it, Orochimaru would use you as a pawn. Hey, you're gonna have to help your teammates, Naruto said, as he walked off ahead of her. She stood there. What the hell just happened? Why did she allow that to happen? Why didn't she fight him? Was she scared? Or did she like what he did? What the hell is wrong with her? If Zaku or Dosu ever found out about this and tell Orochimaru, he would kill her without a second thought. And she knew that Teiwaya wouldn't stand for that, and that would cause problem for her cousin. And she didn't want that. That is why she always fall in line. As Teiwaya had a curse mark on her, and if Orochimaru pleased to, he can just kill her at any time by affecting that mark on her. So she just followed behind Naruto, as she didn't know what the hell was going on. Arriving back to the scene, Sasuke wiped the sweat from his brow, as both Zaku and Dosu were on the ground unconscious, as Sakura was holding on to a kunai. On my mind, Naruto said. Did you actually do something? He asked. As Sakura glared at him. Of course I did. I helped Sasuke-kun, she said. Come on, Sasuke, tell the truth, did she? Yes, Sasuke said. Really? Agreeing with her so soon? It seems like you like to be raped. After her violent attempt of raping you, you're agreeing with her already. I must say I should have let Orochimaru took you, and then you'd understand the true pain of being raped. As Sasuke glared at him, shut it dope, he said, making Naruto simply chuckle. Sakura then raised her kunai. What about her? Nah, she's fine. Leave her alone, Naruto said. It's not like she's gonna fight the three of us anyway. Am I right, Kin? He said. You can take our scroll. I'll take my teammates and go, she said to him. As Naruto smiled, as he started to walk off before coming to a stop. You know, Neji, it's unpolite to watch people fight and study their moves. I mean, what kind of thing is that? Just because you have the Byakugan. Come on, man. As Naruto started to walk off. Who are you talking to? Asked Sakura. As she looked around not seeing anyone, as Sasuke narrowed his eyes. I didn't even sense him. And with that the group jumped off. It took some time, but they finally arrived. As there was writing on the wall. I guess we should open it, said Sakura. So they did, open the two scrolls. That was a poof. Aruka-sensei, Sakura said. Ah, you three made it, said Aruka. Congratulations, he said. And you made it early as well. I must say, I'm impressed, he said with a smile on his face. Oh, you should know, said Naruto. Orochimaru attacked us in the Forest of Death. I am sure that the third Hokage already know about this, but just to be safe. Aruka was shocked. What did you just say? Yes, he attacked us. He was after Emo King over here. Sasuke simply grunted. What happened? Aruka asked, looking over the three of them, knowing that if Orochimaru and attacked them, they would be dead if he want them to be. Well, we got away, so there's nothing to worry about. Aruka was now worried. If he let them get away, there was something bigger that he was planning. I'll make sure the Hokage know about this. Hey, if you see Anko up there, can you tell her I want to talk to her? Sure, said Iruka, as he winked off in a speed. As Naruto turned towards him, well, we have 5 days here left. I guess we should enjoy our time. As they walk inside of the tower. Time skip, the 5 days were pretty uneventful. And Naruto felt like something was wrong. He just couldn't put his finger on it, but he felt like something was terribly wrong. It was just this burning feeling in his gut that was telling him that, but he just couldn't tell what it was. It made him feel weird. It was hard for him to think and act like how he usually act, that charming Naruto, but it was weird. What was this feeling? And he hadn't seen Yujiro or Anko. Yujiro told him that she would be here to watch anything that was going to happen and cheer him on, so it was quite a surprise not seeing her there, as he seriously wondered what was going on. As the 5 days came to a close, the teams made it, all of them finally. As the Sound team was there, along with the Kumo team, along with the Sand team, and all the Konoha rookies. As the group walked out, it was strange. Naruto hadn't been called by the Hokage, any of them, to give a report on what happened. Why was everyone avoiding him? What the hell was going on, he wondered to himself. As he came out, he then saw the third standing up on top of the balcony, along with Anko behind him, along with the rest of the Jonin senseis. Hayate wasn't here. That was strange. He was supposed to be the proctor of this exam, as he wondered what the hell was going on. But he chalked it up as him being paranoid, as he came up along the group. As Naruto turned and looked around, his eyes met with Yujito, as he winked at her, making her turn her head. As his eyes then met with Temari, as he blew a kiss towards her, she blushed a bit before turning, as he simply chuckled to himself. Everyone, Anko said, I congratulate you on passing the second phase of this exam. Now, our Hokage will explain the rest. As Naruto stepped forward, the man was trying his best to not look Naruto in the eyes. Anko was doing the same. And now Naruto felt dread, something was wrong. What the hell was going on? He'll have to get answers. Even Kakashi was looking everywhere else than at Naruto. Before I explain about the third part of this exam, I would like to tell you the real reason of the Chunin exam, as the man went on with his speech, telling them that this exam was to use to unite the nations all together and show that there can be peace amongst their genins. And if they can do that, there can be peace amongst the Jonins, and the Kages can even come together and form a peaceful future for all of the kids. As Naruto tried his best to get Anko to look at him. Hey, Kurama, am I flipping out or something, or is everyone trying to avoid me? No, you're not. I can see it as well. It seems like something is wrong. And look at that one. As Naruto looked up at Anko, yeah, it seems like she's worrying about something. You can feel it, Naruto asks. Yeah. She refrains from looking at you. Something is wrong, said Kurama. As Naruto waited until Hokage finished his speech. But he was stopped. I think it would be best if I would be the one to announce this, said Genma. As a Hokage nodded and stepped back. Alright, because there's a large number of you, there will be preliminaries to cut you down. What? Kiba said. So we're gonna have to do more? And we're not yet at the finals? No, you're not. There were going to be a lot of daimyos and popular figureheads at the Chunin exams. If you large number go there, the Chunin exams will be too long. So, we're going to be having preliminaries, and the ones who pass will move on to the finals. As he pointed towards a board that will flash random names. Whichever name comes up will be fighting. This exam begins in 5 minutes, so get yourself ready. As soon as the man said that, Naruto started to walk off. Naruto, where are you going? Sakura asked. Be right back, Naruto said, as he started to see Anko moving as well. As Naruto started to run, he simply ran up the wall and jumped over the rail and has dropped right in front of Anko. As Anko didn't even look at him. Anko, Naruto said. His voice started out soft. What's going on? I haven't seen you since, you know. What's going on, he asks. And where's Yujiro? And Hayate? As Naruto saw, she flinched. When he said Yujiro, he must be imagining things. Yes, he has to be imagining things. Hanko, he said. As Anko did not look at him, he then turned. As he saw the Hokage, Kakashi, and the others walking over as well. Anko, I've never lied to you before. And I've always been straight with you, so don't. Don't lie to me. Just tell me what's going on. As Anko finally turned and looked at him, he saw tears welling up in her eyes. Anko, what's wrong? He said. You're scaring me. As Anko stepped forward, but Naruto looked at her stern. What's going on? Stop behaving this way. You never act this way, unless it's something bad. And tell me already, he said. The moment she started to speak, tears started to run down her face. Kid, after you tell us about you know who, me and Yujiro went in the forest. We found him. But it seems like he had some sort of grudge against you after meeting with you. But Yujiro was angry of the way he was talking about you, so she showed it in her emotions. And he attacked her. Anko was speaking, but Naruto wasn't hearing anything else, as his entire world seemed to just freeze at that single moment. Because knowing Orochimaru, to get back at him, Orochimaru would most likely kill someone just to make him suffer. And Anko was telling him that Yujiro was in his way. No. Naruto started to step back. As the Hokage and the others saw that, they were coming over to them. As Naruto reached the railing, not looking where he was, his back hit against a railing that flipped him over. But he didn't even try to catch himself, as he dropped to the ground at thud. As everyone turned, Anko quickly jumped down there, as she was already crying. Everyone turned as they wondered what the hell is going on, as Kakashi, Sarutobi, and a few Anbus landed as well. Anko was going to explain that she wasn't dead. She was hospitalized, but it was very bad. But the kid was not hearing anything. He was not reacting to anything. He just fell off the stairway, and he did not react or even flinch, as Naruto was just blank. Nothing in this world really scared Naruto. Well, there was one thing. Even though they betrayed him, before that they were his friends, and he failed to save them. He failed to get them to see the right side. And then he lost Jiraiya. And then he lost Kakashi. But even though Kakashi was revived, there was one thing that Naruto couldn't bear, and that was losing people close to him. Coming to this world, he thought that he wouldn't have anyone like that, except until he meet Jiraiya. But Anko became his friend. But before that, her, Yujiro, he never lived with Kushina. He knew that she's his mother, but Yujiro has been there. She has shown him love that he could not even imagine to have in his previous world, when he was around this age, always coming home to nothing but an empty house. But she was always there in this world, smile on her face, cooking in the kitchen. Naruto rolled over on his back. Everyone became even more focused, and he started to punch the ground. No, he said, as he smashed his fist in the ground again. No, he said over again. As Sarutobi looked over at Anko to see Anko crying, but she was standing there. They wanted to console Naruto, but Anko said that she could talk to him. But it hurt Naruto far more than they expected. Well, what should they expect? Naruto was a Jinchuriki after all. A Jinchuriki was never loved so much, but Yujiro was always there for him. As Naruto beat his fist into the ground over and over. Kid, calm down, said Kurama. You're getting too angry. No, I can't lose her, Naruto said. As it was this pain, this unbearable pain of losing someone so close to him, that was not something he could deal with. He had already went through so much suffering in his own life. and that dragged him down to the path of just sleeping with girls over and over, shutting off his emotions after Jiraiya's death, going out on his own, drinking, and to hear that Naruto smashed his head in the ground as Anko rushed over. She tried to pick him up but he slapped away her hand. As it was then they all felt it. Kitten, can you feel that? Yeah. But is this? Gaara snapped his eyes over to Naruto as well. What the hell is going on? Said Temari. As Gaara was looking at Naruto curiously. Now he understand why. Why? There was this connection between him and this boy. He was a Jinchuriki as well, he could feel it. This demonic power. The thing started to saturate the entire air as every Jonin snapped their eyes over. As Naruto raised his head again, but he was grabbed by Anko, who grabbed him tight as she held on to him. As she felt a stinging sensation all over her body, but she gripped onto him tight, holding him, as she wasn't going to let him go, as he was thrusting around. As she could feel by every second, the stinging sensation was getting even more intense. Kid, calm down, Kurama shouted, as Naruto was literally sucking the power out of the seal. The rage, the anger. She's not dead, said Anko. It's bad, but she's in the hospital. Calm down, Anko said. By this time, Anko looked down. As she felt her body, an intense heat was hitting her, as she had slight burn marks on her arms. Hearing that, Naruto's head snapped up, as Anko had to look at him twice. She could see his eyes, they were blood red, with lines going down in them, as his teeth were fangs. His whisker marks are now feral. What's going on? Said Sakura as she looked over. Even Sasuke was confused, well, all of the Genins were, except for Gaara, and his siblings, and Yujeo, and her team as well, having felt demonic chakra before, seeing that their teammate is a Jinchuriki. Nibe, what kind of Bijuu does he hold? This power. He has the strongest one of us all, the Kyuubi. You mean he has a 9-tailed demon fox inside of it? Yes. As she looked at Naruto in a whole different light. He was a Jinchuriki as well. But how didn't I sense it? It seems like the seal that he has. It's greatly advanced to block out any sensation of demonic power unless they use it. So that's the reason. But what's going on over there? How should I know? I'm trapped in here. Yeah, sorry about that. As Naruto was looking at Anko, he didn't break the hold that Anko had over him. As he started to walk off, Naruto said Sarutobi. As 3 Anvus landed right in front of Naruto. As Naruto glanced back at Sarutobi, Sarutobi felt his heart broken seeing the look on the boy's face. His eyes had returned back to normal. Tears were running down his face. I have to go see her, Naruto said, as he started to walk off. The Anvus did not get in order yet, so they weren't going to move. As Naruto just kept on walking, no plans of slowing down. Kakashi, will you make sure everything is okay? As Kakashi nodded, as Sarutobi waved his hand as the Anvus stepped apart, as Naruto then made a mad dash towards the entrance. As he was running, they could see the tear particles in the air. As everyone was wondering what is going on, he was crying. This was the first time Sakura and Sasuke was seen in a state like this. And that power they just felt. What was that? Kakashi got outside, as he saw Naruto nowhere in sight. But he could feel it, the faint trace of demonic chakra, knowing that that was the location Naruto was going to. As Kurama could feel the boy agony and pain inside. As Kurama could see that the boy has went through a lot. And by losing someone this close to him, it triggered a lot of memories, a lot of horrible memories that is hurting him a lot. As the fox felt sad on seeing Naruto in this condition, Naruto made his way to the hospital as he rushed inside. Many people gave him stern looks, but he paid them no mind as he rushed towards the receptionist. A woman. She was at the front desk. Hello, can you please tell me where Yujeo Ozuki is? The woman looked at Naruto, and in her face wrinkled up a bit. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to wait like everyone else. As Naruto looked around, the people who were here were sitting down, and they weren't even here at the decks. Listen, I'm just asking you a question, so can you please tell me where she is? And I said that you'll have to wait. Her eyes, they were looking at him like everyone else does in the village. That hateful look, that glare. But this was the wrong time for her to mess with him in this state. I'm gonna ask you one more time calmly. Can you please tell me where Yujiro Ozuki is? Please, he said. And I said, boy, you will have to. The woman could get to finish that sentence. Everyone was shocked. As the next second, the woman was thrown violently into the wall, hitting it hard. As the woman winced in pain, slowly opened her eyes to see him walking towards her. She felt her legs shaking in utter fear. Everyone was watching the sight with fear on their face. Curse at me, glare at me, do anything you want, but when it comes to her, don't mistake it. I'll kill every single one of you. Now tell me, where is she? Naruto shouted. Naruto, said a voice. As Naruto turned to see Hayate, Hayate was looking at the grim scene as he could see and feel that power, that demonic power. Naruto, calm down, he said. I am calm, Naruto said. I need people to stop telling me to be calm. Where is she? Naruto asked. Come with me, he said, as Naruto walked off, following behind Hayate, who was looking around at the people, who were fear and in shock. Enough of these people always see him and glare at him, but he never backlash or lash out at them this way before. As the woman sit there, her legs were violently shaking. She looked into his eyes a minute ago when she saw so much rage, so much anger. She thought that she was going to die. Kakashi then headed in the hospital as he saw the people looking jumpy and the woman on the floor. He held a hand to help her up. The woman didn't look at him or even respond. As he looked around wondering what the hell happened, he could feel a small force of the Kyuubi chakra here. Did Naruto do something? As he looked at the woman, he helped her up to her feet despite her state. Can you tell me where Yujiro Ozuki is? He asked. Knowing that Naruto would be heading there, Naruto and Hayate finally arrived as Hayate could feel the rage still coming off the boy. Naruto, I know how you must be feeling, but I need you to calm down. Nothing good will happen if you stay in this state. As Naruto looked at him, I am calm, he said. I need people to stop telling me that. I just want to see her. I just want to make sure. As Hayate kept on walking until the both of them arrived. As they came to a stop, the door was closed. As he heard beeping. As he felt his heart beating harder and harder as the second go by. As he slowly made his way towards the window and looked inside, his heart felt like it was torn, ripped up and spat out, and then torn again as he saw her on the bed. Multiple bandages wrapped around her. She had a tube in her mouth with a lot of wires and machines all around her. As there was at least 2 doctors inside and 2 nurses. Naruto felt his legs couldn't contain him anymore as he collapsed down. Tears were literally pooling out of his eyes. He pulled his legs up towards his chest as he held himself. This is the pain that he couldn't handle. This is the pain that he never wanted to feel again. As he has always pushed himself and gotten stronger, even after Gaara encouraging words back in his time. He wanted to bring those 2 back. He tried, but kept on failing over and over again, until he realized there was no point. And when Jiraiya died, everything changed. He became different. The state that he was now. And that could not be reversed. He did so many things, but that was out of pain and anger. But now, seeing her lying there, the pain inside of him was just too much to bear. As members of her, waking him up, telling him to go take a shower, giving him breakfast, being there for him, smiling at him, telling him to have a wonderful day, and not mind the villagers were just flooding through his mind. as it made his body shake with an uncontrollable rage, because he knew the one who was responsible for this. He then felt a hand on his shoulder. As he looked up at Hayate, he could see that the man had been crying, tear marks streaming down his face. The marks are still there. I know how you must be feeling, kid. I love her. I know that you love her as well. But you can't let your rage take control of you. And you know exactly why. So that is why I need you to be calm, Naruto. We can only pray that she will get out of this, okay? She's a strong woman after all. Come on. Don't give up faith in her like that. She will make it out of this. In a couple of days or weeks, she'll be back home. She'll be there for you, wishing you good luck on your next mission. So can you do that? Can you just calm down? You know that she wouldn't like to see you in this state. As Kakashi was leaning up against the wall over to the corner, just keeping an eye on them. As Naruto slowly nodded his head, he was getting too angry. And besides, there was only one person he could blame for all of this. As that twisted chuckle could be heard in his mind. The next time will be the last time. There won't be any escaping. The next time he will literally rip his heart out of his chest with his bare hands. Because that man needed to die. Looking back at things, if he hadn't placed the curse mark on Satsuki, things wouldn't have turned out that way in his time. He had to calm himself because Hayate was right. If he dig too deep in his anger, he would draw upon too much of the fox power. Speaking of that, Kurama. Yeah, kid. I'm sorry, Naruto said. Kid, you don't have to worry. I know you're hurting right now. It's okay. Thanks, Naruto said. Naruto, I think you should get back to the stadium. What? Said Naruto. I can't just leave. It's gonna be okay, Naruto. I'm gonna be here with her and watch over her the moment something changed. The moment the doctors tell me anything, you'll be the first to know. And you know, if she woke up and realized that it was her fault, why you didn't become a chunin, she'll be angered herself. And also chew you out and me out as well. For making you stay here, while you could have been out there kicking ass. So do her proud, said Hayate. If anything happens, said Naruto. I promise, Hayate said. As Naruto nodded as he looked through the window one more time. As her chest was going up and down. As he was looking at her breathing. But still the doctors are standing there. He knew that things were bad. As he could see a number of bandages wrapped around her body. As he had to clench his fist tight. As he started to walk off. Hayate then made hand signs over to Kakashi, who walked over. I need you to keep an eye on him. Yeah, it seems that this is affecting him worse than we thought. Flashback. It was a day after the attack. They said it's bad. It's bad, said Hayate. As he was there, along with the Hokage, Anko, Kakashi, and a few other envoys. As Anko tried her best to not cry because her friend was lying in the hospital bed right there. She tried her best to do something, but Orochimaru just kept on hitting her back. As in that moment she felt completely useless. She realized the difference between her and Asani. He kept on focusing all of his attacks on Yujiro. And he purposely took her own blade and stabbed her numerous times. And he paralyzed Anko and made her watch. It was lucky that the other envoys got there in time, or she would have been dead. He was planning on killing her just to make Naruto suffer. As Anko wanted to rip that bastard to shreds even more. It was then that Anko realized. Naruto, she said. As everyone had a grim look on their face. What are we gonna do about that? Flashback ended. As Kakashi sighed. Things had not went as they expected. Well, Anko couldn't keep it to herself. As she was also so close to Yujiro, the girl was crying the entire time while she was there. Despite being a feared kunoichi, she rawly showed out her emotions because she didn't care. Her friend was lying in the hospital bed, badly injured. End of the flashback. Naruto slowly made his way. As he stopped right at the entrance, as he looked up in the sky, he could only pray to whatever got out there, that they keep her alive. Because he didn't know. He didn't know if he could handle her death. He didn't know. He shook his head. He shouldn't be thinking about this. She would be fine. She's tough after all. She won't go down like that without fighting for her life with everything that she's got. As Naruto was walking, he saw Kabuto. He kept himself checked as Kabuto gave him a glance. He didn't say anything, he just looked at Naruto and walked past him. As Naruto's hand reached up, but he stopped himself as he just kept on walking. Alright, first fighters he heard. Sasuke Uchiha versus Yoroe, as it was Kabuto's teammate. As Naruto made his way inside. As he did that, Anko saw him as she rushed over towards him. But he stood back. Anko, he said, I know that you're hurting as well. But I can't right now, okay? I just need you to give me some time alone. Can you do that for me? He asked. As Anko felt bad because she heard the voice that he was talking with. It was devoid of so much emotions. Oh, okay, she said. But if there's anything, don't worry. I'll let you know, he said. As Naruto walked off. As Sasuke was done in the arena fighting, Sakura and the others noticed Naruto arrive back. As they all looked at him as they wondered what just happened. But Naruto paid none of them any mind, as he sat down on top of the railing. As Kakashi arrived as well, and appeared behind Naruto. As Sakura looked over at her sensei, she then looked back at Naruto. She wanted to say something but Kakashi shook his head. As Yujito, Gaara, Temari, all of them were looking at Naruto. As they all felt it, demonic chakra. But the girls, they were actually sad. To see him in the state that he was a minute ago, something terrible must have happened. The kid that was always flirting and was so charming, but now, those look in his eyes. As it was strange, not many Genins can have that look in their eyes. That was like a cold-blooded predator that was going to strike soon. As he could see it, the rage, the anger. It was at the tip and ready to just explode. A distance away, as Kabuto came to a stop. It seems like it was quite the show, my lord, he said. Was he angry? Kabuto asked. Immensely so. But the girl, she's not dead. Kabuto asked Orochimaru. No, before I could finish her off, there was too many envoys. And I didn't have time to waste knowing that the old fool would be there soon enough. But don't worry, Naruto Uzumaki will rule the day he ever met me. I'm confused, my lord. What exactly did he do to make you want to hurt him so much? That is not important right now, Kabuto. For now, we have planning to do. As the both of them headed off. But guys, be in this episode right here. For the next part, if you know what to do. And also go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto Learned the Clone Secret in the beginning. And stay in tune for What If Naruto was raised by the Hyuga clan. And also, what if Naruto got his memories sealed away? But for now, I'm out. See you guys soon. Peace.